Well, to be fair, they had a bunch of rogues. Okay, so I think we're going to open up some YouTube. I still need to configure VMagic Mirror for this. Game capture should stop capturing stream raiders. Alright, there's a couple of videos. A couple of videos I do want to watch. Oh my goodness sakes. Josh Strife. Mostly for Josh Strife Hayes that are related to Genshin in a way. Or maybe like 3 videos. As soon as I bring them up. Speaking of which, speaking of that dude, if we shout him out. What kind of clip will play from his channel?
Food now, so I've got to build adrenaline up for this thing, I suppose. Let's just see if we can build adrenaline to something. Am I going to be able to do it? Is it? It's not going to happen, guys. I don't want to die with the armor I've made. Nope, run away. And here's the death. We end on a death. A fantasy shop inside a fantasy game. Maybe you sell swords or armor or potions. Business is steady and you have a nice regular set of customers. Sometimes people come in and browse around for a bit and then only take the free samples. Some people drop a coin or two every week and some people spend 20 or 30.
Is it this video or is it... Yeah, I think it's probably this video regarding whales in online games.
20 or 30 coins a day. You're making enough to survive. But then one day, a new customer arrives, spends tens of thousands of gold coins, and then sets out to adventure. That one person just made you more money in a single transaction than every other customer combined over the entire month. That person is a whale. And if you want to make money, you will now focus your entire monetization strategy on finding more of them. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. I'm Josh Strife Hayes. You've probably heard me use the term whale several times before. It's actually a gaming industry term. It means player who spends a large amount of money in any one individual game. You can find whales in all walks of life, from card games to tabletop games to sports, but in video games the term generally means someone who spends a large amount of cash on a single game. A whale can appear in any project where spending money gives you a distinct advantage over other people. What you might not fully grasp is the symbiotic nature of the relationship between the whales and the free-to-play players, or exactly how much money whales spend.
I agree.
Because one whale is easily worth 10 or 20,000 casual players to a game's developer. That is how much money they spend in the game. That is how valuable they are as a player. So let's dive into this insane world and go whale hunting. Before we begin, consider dropping a like on the video or subscribing to the channel. Ring the bell if you want all the future notifications. And as usual, a big thank you to all my supporters on Patreon and Twitch who keep the channel going. More on how you can support at the end. For now, let's begin. Whales can exist in other formats, from card games like Magic the Gathering to tabletop games like Warhammer, or even conventions and cosplay. But we'll be focusing on the video game landscape and the MMORPG genre. The main factor for Can You Whale is the monetization method of the game. For whaling to be possible, there must be a direct system where spending more money means more advantage over other players. So free-to-play games that sell you upgrades or upgrade materials like Neverwinter or Runes of Magic, games where you can break down cash shop items for rare but essential endgame materials like Black Desert Online, games where consumable items are essential and available for sale in the cash shop like Arcade or DK Online or Fiesta Online or pretty much any free-to-play game. If money means advantage, whales can be caught. So maybe you've played a game for a few days, a few weeks or a few months and you've dropped some money here or there. You've spent £10 on a mount, you've spent £20 on the beginner pack, maybe you spent £50 on transferring your character server to server a couple of times. That's not whaling. That is nothing compared to the money that whales spend. Maybe you've spent upwards of £200 or £300 on your favourite game. A whale would consider that cute. The YouTube
Of
channel
course.
Pocket Gamer Biz has a terrific video on the subject called Let's Go Whaling, where they explain the monetization tactics used to capture and entice whales into spending, including daily login bonuses to form a habit, beginner packs to start the purchasing chain, limited time offers for fear of missing out, and then mechanics such as matching you against players always slightly better than you, making you think a small cash boost is all you need, and then ultimately slowly taking away the power you are purchasing, so you keep purchasing more. It's a great video, but I want to leave the methods specifically and look at the actual numbers these people spend. To understand why game designers care about whales so much, we need to understand the mathematical phenomenon known as the Pareto principle. Simply put, the Pareto principle states that 80% of any given outcome is actually caused by only 20% of the input. And when you look for this, you see this 80-20 ratio almost everywhere. It's scarily accurate in real life. 20% of your carpet will get walked on 80% of the time. 80% of the radio stations available will only play 20% of the music available. 20% of the most powerful Magic the Gathering cards see play in 80% of tournament decks.
That's scary.
80% of MMORPG players only focus on 20% of the game. The 80-20 principle is everywhere. It's scary when you start to look for it.
I
And it's
agree.
especially
What the
true
heck?
in business. In any given business, 80% of your income will often come from 20% of your user base or your customers, and only 20% of what you actually sell. This means if you're a smart business owner, you want to spend your time focusing on those 20% of customers because they drive a vast majority of your income. But you can extrapolate further. If you take those top spending 20% and apply the Pareto principle again, it still works. 20% of those top people are spending 80% of that money. And then you can do it again. 20% of the smaller, more elite group is still spending 80% of that money. And it's this insane mathematical imbalance that makes focusing on whales so profitable. This article on VentureBeat, What It Means to Be a Whale, explores some of the numbers and how different companies class whales, including this part about mobile game Clash of the Dragons, where 40%
why not Clash
of
of
their
Clans?
revenue came from 2% of their player base, who was spending more than $1,000 each. 90% of their income was created by players spending over $100 each, and the top player had spent around $6,700. This article on Eurogamer actually interviews a self-confessed whale, a Twitch streamer called David, who works as a DJ and an audio engineer in everyday life, and he has, over the past 5 years, spent around $20,000 on loot boxes in various games, most often in the mobile game King's Raid. He also spent $5,000 in the MMORPG Atlantica Online. 6,700, 5,000, 20,000. They're not insubstantial amounts of money by anyone's standards, but they're not exactly multi-millionaire levels. Let's start to take a look at the upper echelons of the whaling world and see when the scales really start to tip. This article on Forbes explores how mobile games generate roughly 50% of their income from only 0.15% of their player base. The article does explain how people who buy offline console games may spend hundreds of hours in them, but very rarely do they spend extra money past the original purchase price. But online games are very different. They thrive off allowing people to pay to win. Over
That's
on
true.
Wired, we get this article where we start to see the real big spending make an appearance. In the article, they interviewed a successful businessman referred to as Lee. Lee explains how he often comes in from a hard day's work, opens up Clash of Clans, and drops around
there it is.
$1,000 a month. Lee actually says in the article that gaming has helped him save money, because usually he would spend upwards of $6,000 a night out with his friends. So this was actually the cheaper version for him. This is the kind of person we're dealing with. The article then introduces us to a player known only as Panda, who at the time was one of the top 10 Clash of Clans players in the world. He brags about spending upwards of $7,000 a month, which he states is around 7% of his total monthly income, meaning this guy is making $100,000 a month. Later in the article, we meet Vince, who has put $16,000 into the Facebook game Battle Pirates. Vince made the top 100 players, and he justified his expense with, you want to be the top. Once you've spent $200, what's another 200? There are even articles written online about how to encourage and capture whales inside your game, because finding a whale is a massive market. But these are mobile games. They're designed specifically to hunt down whales, to hook them in, and then to milk them dry. Let's start to look at the MMORPG world and the really high-paying players involved there. This is a video by YouTuber Hedon, where they talk to a Black Desert Online player who has spent a substantial amount of money. This is how the video opens.
You see my transaction history. I think I'm about at 160k. So I swiped, I think, 2k a day for a whole month.
$160,000. $2,000 a day. Now we're getting into the big numbers. This video is 34 minutes long and is a great watch.
You know what you could get with 2k? $2,000?
Linked in the description below. To truly understand the spending habits of whales, all you need to look at is the game's cash shop, and then look at the largest amount of premium currency you can buy in one go. For example, here's crates of Eve Plex. The largest crate is $430. This crate would be a weekly, or in some cases daily, purchase of a whale. Runes of Magic sell diamonds for hundreds of pounds. Neverwinter has bundles of Zen for hundreds of pounds. Genshin Impact sells Genesis crystals for hundreds of dollars. These value packs are not rare one-off purchases every now and again. They are weekly or daily whale bait, and they work. So with the Pareto principle in full effect and 20% of the player base generating 80% of the profits, why does the game need you? Why does the game need free players? What is the relationship? Well, it's actually quite strange. Whales and free-to-play players have a symbiotic relationship. They both need each other to survive. The whales need the free players to whale over. The free players are the measuring mark, the yardstick that the whales can then beat, can then rise above. The free-to-play players are the masses that the whales come along and crush. The free players are the unprepared army that the overpowered whale crushes under their gold-plated boot. This is why many games give you, as a free player, just enough power and just enough premium currency to make you think you're making progress. But if you ever do meet a whale, especially in a PvP game, you will be absolutely outmatched and outclassed every single time.
Keep that in mind. That is something to keep in mind, actually. Like, there's a reason that, like, whales will really go out of their way to openly talk about their spending habits in comparison to the light spenders who have a level of responsibility and guilt in saying that they put something out of their pocket, out of their wallet into a game, while whales just have whatever they have in their income in the world to drop at least 2,000 like on a single day on an online game they play in order to stand at the top if they don't want to do all that grind, because the real shortcut to a grindy game is just spending to boost yourself. And people who don't want to spend any money are just have to develop a tolerance level, a patience level for said grind.
Now, the greatest thing that can happen for a free game is for two whales to get into a fight with each other, because then each whale will throw money at the game to win. It becomes wallet versus wallet, and the real winner at that point is the game. This is exactly why games have leaderboards. It's why if you are able to pay for power, there will be some way to show it off. It's why when Runes of Magic launched their boosted servers, they had several world-first titles that would be shown on the forums. You could pay for a major benefit to get the world first and then advertise the fact that you had it. That's why when people say, hey, we should divide it so paying players have their own separate PvP and free players have their own separate PvP, as great as that would be for the players, it wouldn't actually be very good for the payers. People who pay money want to beat the free players. People who buy power want to use it against people that don't have it. That's exactly the reason for buying power at all. The problem with focusing on the whales, the 20% of your player base, is that when you do that, you ignore the other 80. Whales are the incredibly small fraction of the player base spending an incredibly large amount of money. Remember the Pareto principle from earlier, the 80-20 rule? Well, if you condense that down in the correct ratio, that is the 80-20 ratio to itself, you do actually end up with 0.2% of players spending 51% of all generated income, which corroborates the study from earlier in the Forbes article.
Which
If
is
you ever
interesting.
wondered how low population games stay alive, or how tiny niche communities seem to somehow generate enough money to support the devs and still get updates, it's because the player base has been condensed down to just the whales, the magic 20% big spenders. And this puts game designers in a very awkward position. Remember?
I also love how like it went into Genshin Impact like more than once, because now we have Tectone here, and we have the story with MTash just dropping a lot of money to get a specific 5-star, only to not enjoy the 5-star without taking into regards there are demos to try out first.
Remember the potion shop analogy from earlier? Well, if a whale says to you, I want you to start making green swords, then you best start selling green swords. But if the rest of the player base says, we don't want green swords, what do? Whales need free players to have someone to whale against. Free players need whales to fund the game they're playing for free. You need income, but you also need a player base. If you cater your game to the 80% of players that only generate 20% of your income, you're leaving a huge amount of revenue on the table unaccounted for, and that's just a bad business decision. But if you cater to the 20% of players and ignore the 80, you'll likely make more money in the short term by doing so, but you'll potentially damage your player base over time. You'll build up a reputation of only listening to the higher payers and ignoring the average casual player. And if this
That's
continues,
true.
the casual player base will begin to drop off, and then the whales
That's
will
frustrating
leave
as
because they
hell.
won't have a free-to-play community to lord it over anymore. So the next time you look at an MMO and think, oh, why does it have a cash shop? Why does it have pay-to-advance quickly features? Why is it selling power? Well, it's because if they capture just a few whales, they will make more money from them than from the rest of the player base combined. It's a purely business decision, and it's been proven to work. Oh, and also, if you Google MMO whale, the first advert that comes up is for Star Citizen.
Oh
Not making
no.
any comments on that, just thought it was funny. In other news, next year will mark the 10th anniversary of the Star Citizen Kickstarter. I wonder how the game is looking now.
Oh boy. Oh boy. Is this meant to be like a sci-fi MMO or something? I have no idea.
Fantastic. It's looking absolutely
How the heck?
fantastic. If you consider yourself a whale and you have more fun in games being able to buy power and be more powerful than other people, let me know why you enjoy playing that way in the comments below. If you believe it should be against a game's terms of service to be allowed to buy power at all, let me know. Or if you think that actually it's a more complex situation than this, and maybe whales buying power is the only way that a game is able to fund itself and remain free to play for the majority of players, and actually maybe there's a benefit to it, let me know as well. As for the big question you're all wondering, is there tea, coffee, or nothing in this mug? It's a Dungeons and Dragons mug. It's full of dice. Thank you for watching. Thanks again to all the supporters on Patreon and Twitch.
I like how the mug
going.
has
You
become.
Can support the Patreon from only £1 a month. Check the video
I like how the
description
mug has
for
become a
links to all
staple
the
of
sources
Josh's
I've used in
videos
this video,
to
the Patreon,
whenever
the
he
Twitch,
needs
the
to
Twitter, and
talk
the
about
Discord,
the
and
online
as
game scene or
always, have
something
a
about it.
great day.
I think like he and a lot of other content creators who focus primarily on MMORPGs have been rising now, with like the genre really demanding attention from like up and coming games. So that's pretty good. That's always pretty good. I think he actually uploaded a video regarding Genshin Impact some time ago, but I forgot what the thumbnail looks like. I think the thumbnail had Lisa on it. Yep, here it is. This is a 15-minute 49-second video.
So after weeks of pestering, I finally gave in and spent an entire day and night playing Legend of Gacha Breath of the Waifu, and I honestly had a really good time. Right up until I tried to catalogue the game's 15 different currencies and realised to make any serious endgame progress I'd have to either play this game as a job or sell a kidney. So let's dive into this extremely successful Eastern open world adventure game and see what it's all about. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. I'm Josh Hayes, and today I'll be answering the question, should you play Genshin Impact in 2021? We'll be looking at several areas of the game and deciding if it's worth your time. Before we begin, consider dropping a like on the video.
I also
and
noticed
subbing
the
to
amount of
channel
likes
for
he
more
has on this
MMO
video
stuff,
is
and ring the bell so you don't miss a single future video. As usual, a massive thank you to
very,
our
very
supporters on
funny
Patreon
number.
and Twitch who make my channel possible. More on how you can support at the end. Right, let's do this. Genshin Impact is a third-person open-world adventure game. You journey around this vast land, killing enemies, conquering dungeons, and collecting resources which you use to improve your team. Your team
It's not entirely conquering dungeons. It's only conquering dungeons when the story permits you to.
consists of 4 characters. You play as a single member at a time and can switch between them freely with the keys 1, 2, 3 and 4. There are currently 30 playable characters, each one with a different play style and selection of special attacks. The game is available on PC and mobile. It's mostly a single player game and progress through the main story is only made in single player mode, but there is a multiplayer element once the player reaches adventure rank 16, meaning you can take on dungeons with your friends. Although adventure rank 16 would take about 15 to 20 hours of gameplay to reach. In this video, I'll be playing on the PC version. The game is free to download and play right now, and there is a vast amount of content available to all players. The overworld is massive, the dungeons and delves are many, but I suppose we should rip this band-aid off quickly. Genshin Impact does feature gacha mechanics. For those unfamiliar, it basically means there's a lucky dip style loot box system, similar to buying packs of players in FIFA Ultimate Team or packs of Magic the Gathering cards. All of the higher tier characters, weapons or accessories are found in packs called wishes. And because the game is legally obligated to tell you the chance of receiving a super rare 5-star drop from any given wish, we can see the chances around 0.6%. I'll go into more detail on the monetization later because it is extensive. So the game starts with you and your sibling hopping around dimensions, but then you try and leave this dimension and nope, some sort of goddess blocks you. So you have a fight, she wins, and you choose which sibling you want to play as. You're then knocked out and wake up on a beach with a small floating childlike entity called Paimon next to you. The overall plot is find your sibling and leave this reality, but that means finding the goddess, and since you're trapped here anyway, you might as well go and solve some local problems. You know the old JRPG joke about how it starts with finding a lost cat and ends with killing a god? Well, they took that as actual design advice here. The floating childlike helper Paimon serves as your guide,
I agree.
and the game's main menu is even called the Paimon menu. The world is inspired by ancient Eastern mythology with shrines to various elemental gods, and the names of most NPCs, including Paimon, Barbatos, and Baal, are being referenced to occult demonology. The graphics are honestly gorgeous. It's a combination of anime overlays and cel-shaded world. All the playable characters have excellent anime-style portraits, and the artwork features on the game homepage is top quality. And the in-game world is a joy to look around. Normally with cel shading, you end up with aggressive black outlines and saturated main colours, but not here. The proportions of the characters are fine, the textures for the landscape are pleasant to look at, and the combat animations, the actual attacks or the flashes and particle effects, are all lovely. Water splashes, fire lashes, and smoke billows. The character model moves around and responds to inputs super quickly, and the gliding controls perfectly. For my time with Genshin Impact, it was a beautiful game to play. The majority of the plot is given to you via fully voiced cutscenes. The voice acting ranges from excellent and believable to teenage angsty anime dub. The amount of words haven't been synced up to the English lines though at all, so sometimes characters just stare blankly at you while talking, and several times you'll see subtitles and spoken lines don't match up. If you had to explain this game to someone in a single sentence, saying it's Breath of the Wild but with anime girls and gambling is pretty much spot on. While you'll start the game alone, you'll very soon be joined by various NPCs who fill out your party of 4. Left click is a basic attack, right click is dodge, pressing E uses your basic ability, which recharges pretty fast, and pressing Q uses your super ability, which is charged up by using your basic ability. Each character's abilities are based on various elements, and each enemy and some scenery react differently to elemental attacks. The fun in combat is chaining together various elemental attacks and using the terrain to your advantage to win, and honestly, the elemental interaction is great. Your main character is blessed with the power of wind, although they refer to it as Anemo. Then you've got Pyro, Hydro, Cryo, Electro, and Geo, or in English, Fire, Water, Ice, Electricity, and Earth. Because you can switch character in combat, and because these elemental styles all interact, you're able to chain elemental combos together, and your party composition, that's how many characters of a certain element you have, adds powerful passive buffs. So choosing a specific team can actually make a dungeon much easier or much harder. For example, with a balanced team, I was able to use a wind attack to push an enemy back into some water, switch to ice and freeze them because they were in the water, then blast them with electricity and have it be super effective because they were frozen. It's moments like this that make you feel awesome and keep the combat system super enjoyable. You can then use a special elemental vision to see what's around you and what can be interacted with, or pick up traces of magic, because if The Witcher did it, why can't we? Later in the game, you do even need to track down magical footsteps through a city using this vision. The combat
that is pretty neat
itself is
to
fully
actually
action-based. One of the first characters you'll get is
a nod
Amber,
from The Witcher.
Pyro Archer. You can manually aim her bow to imbue the shot with fire, and this lets you burn down thorns or burn enemy shields out of their hands. Then you meet Kaya, who can freeze enemies or pools of water, allowing you to cross dangerous trapped water or stop flamethrowers in dungeons. Then you'll meet
Only
the lightning sorceress
some
Lisa,
dungeons.
who looks gorgeous but is useless. The enemies all have telegraphed attacks, so a well-timed dodge keeps you alive, and switching quickly between characters is required to burn the tougher fights down, and honestly, it's just really good fun. I enjoy fast-paced combat systems like this. Most of the fights will come from questing, so let's take a look at that. You've got a main quest line of finding your sibling, then individual quest lines for each NPC that joins you, and world quests given to you by random people around town, and then the Adventurers Guild quest that have you searching for treasure or hunting down tough monsters. However, the main quest line is level locked. You need to be the right adventure level to continue it, and your adventure level is increased by finding locations in the world, opening treasure chests, finishing dungeons, or completing NPC plot lines. Raising your adventure level is pretty easy early on in the game when you've got a load of undiscovered overworld treasure chests and dungeons, but as you play it gets quite a bit slower. The quest can see you doing many things, from flying through the sky above the land, shooting lasers at a dragon, hunting down a lost pirate treasure by following some hand-drawn maps, slinking through a long-lost temple, or Metal Gear Soliding your way through the church to steal a magical loot that's needed to summon a dragon and make him feel happy because
that's true. My first time around, I missed the hidden treasure chest here.
Crystal tears all over the land. Look, it's an Asian RPG. You should be expecting quests like this. One absolutely awesome gameplay aspect is the climbing. If it's a vertical surface, you can just climb it. I tested this by climbing up the side of the main castle to reach the roof, and yeah, there's stuff up there. I know this is stolen wholesale from Breath of the Wild, but hey, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. If not questing or fighting, you'll be gathering stuff, and my god, is there a lot of stuff to gather. The fact your standard inventory can hold 2,000 items should be a small clue about how many things you'll be picking up. Weapons, accessories, food, crafting materials, cooking materials, upgrade materials, experience materials. It's basically just all materials, and my god, we will look at the upgrade system soon. For now, let's take cooking. I like the cooking minigame because it reminds me of the minigames in the Golden Saucer from Final Fantasy XIV. You interact with a range, you can find them in town or in the wild, and in a nice touch, if the range isn't lit, you must use a fire elemental ability to light it. Then you choose what you want to make and click when the meter is in the right place.
Pretty
Once
much.
you've made something perfect 5 times, you can automate this process. Food is used from your inventory during battle, so it's the old Skyrim tactic of stuffing 50 cheese wheels into your face just before death. As I mentioned, the game is essentially a solo RPG. You quest, explore, and fight single player, but once you reach adventure level 16, you unlock multiplayer mode, which is just teaming up with people to take on dungeons. It is not an MMO. I do not know why it was advertised as an MMO. This is a single player RPG with a multiplayer edition. It is not in any way a multiplayer focused game. So where's the catch? You've got a free third-person open-world adventure RPG, great graphics, decent plotline, tactical fast-paced action combat, open-world exploration, flying and gliding missions, crafting and cooking, fully voice-acted with multiplayer functionality. It's essentially free Breath of the Wild. Where is the catch?
He's gonna get to it.
Here we go. Genshin Impact is an extremely well-monetized game, almost a predatory monetized game. It uses every psychological trick in the book to hook you in and then slowly charge you. Now, it's vital you understand, I had fun playing this game. I will indeed recommend you download it and give it a go, because the early and mid-game is excellent. But let's examine the reality of what the game will eventually inevitably become if you play it long enough. First of all, All the powerful characters, weapons, accessories, and upgrade materials can be found in wish packs. That's the game's name for loot boxes, and the chance of you getting anything good is extremely low, less than 1%. To open a wish pack, you spend a premium currency called Intertwined Fate. So let's just have a look at this. It's a proven psychological phenomenon that people spend more money if you convert the currency they understand into another currency, and the more steps in this process, the harder it is to judge the value of what you're buying.
Look at all these 3 stars.
Genshin Impact has around 15 different currencies, and all of them do something different. You've got gold, or Mora as they call it. Then you've got Genesis crystals you can buy with real money which convert to Priogems. Then you can spend Priogems to buy Intertwined Fate or Acquient Fate, which you spend on wishes for items. And when you wish, you'll also receive Masterless Stardust or Masterless Star Glitter. If you want to buy items from the town vendor, you'll need Anemo Sigils by upgrading Statues of the Seven. To do this, you need Anemoculus tokens which are found throughout the world. Beyond all this, you'll need experience and the upgrade items for leveling up each individual character level, but then characters have level caps and you need to ascend the characters, which uses rare materials. The rare materials are then used to upgrade weapons. The 5 different accessories each character wears must be upgraded separately. Then much rarer dungeons drop items needed to upgrade character star sign charts and unlock new abilities. But to find these rare star sign upgrade items, you need to run higher level dungeons or fight higher level world bosses, but doing this costs resin, and you can refill your resin by either waiting or buying original resin.
Hold on a second. What did he just say? Hold on.
To run higher charts and unlock new, much rarer dungeons drop items needed to upgrade character star sign charts and unlock new abilities. But to find these rare star sign upgrade items,
The star sign charts, the constellation he's saying, you have to actually literally get copies of. If only it were that easy. If only like in-game dungeons can actually drop constellations. These have to be paid for. These have to be rewarded from the gacha. I wonder if anybody could like fact check him and whatnot. Yeah. And I don't see Josh like favoriting this comment, but this comment's pretty much spot on. Actually, before we continue the video, let's go ahead and see how we do in this stage for Stream Raiders. There's way too many rogues here right now. This is ridiculous. We literally have a 1 skull level with with level 20 rogues. This is not possible. This is not possible at all. I'm just gonna leave the Stream Raiders rounds to tomorrow. This is not possible right now with who we have. Anyways, back to this.
you need to run higher level dungeons or fight higher level world bosses, but doing this costs resin, and you can refill your resin by either waiting or buying original resin for Priogems. There is even a £5 monthly pack which awards 300 Genesis crystals instantly and then a few Priogems every day for 30 days, but then there's the Adventurer's Diary with world tasks which completing gives you Priogems, but doing the tasks sometimes requires you to do difficult things that require other currencies. So, put simply, the game is designed to have multiple premium currencies simply to make it incredibly complicated and difficult to track how much money you're actually spending on any given upgrade. There are systems within systems within systems, and they all matter and they all affect the strength of your character, and you can upgrade a massive amount of things and you need to gather a massive amount of materials, and some of the rarer materials are hiding in dungeons or behind bosses that use an energy system to limit the amount you can farm them. But absolutely everything can be improved or made easier by spending money. You can buy materials to upgrade or ascend characters, weapons or accessories or abilities or more. You can buy energy refills to farm more. You can buy wishes in packs of 10 with guaranteed 4-star rewards. You can throw your wallet at this game until you have what you want. Now, I'm sure there'll be people screaming, but I played it for free, and it is indeed possible to earn Prio Gems in-game, and Prio Gems are effectively the most important currency you can get, but it's a very slow process. I did indeed buy some wishes using the Prio Gems I received from completing some in-game quests, and I got absolute junk in every wish. I used what I got as upgrade fodder for other items. You need to buy so many wishes to get a good item, and then remember, you're not just upgrading a single character, you're upgrading multiple. And while you might be able to play
typical
for free
gacha
and
game.
upgrade 1 or 2 to a decent level, it's going to be a serious grind to upgrade a full team or beyond. So knowing the extreme level of monetization that you will eventually bump into, let's wrap this up. Genshin Impact is an excellent adventure game with a slick, nice looking interface, great voice acting, high quality cel shaded anime graphics, and terrific fast paced elemental combat, which relies on you switching between a party of 4 characters, dodging enemy attacks, chaining combo attacks of your own together, and using the terrain to your advantage. It is extremely good fun to explore, run, jump, swim, climb, and glide around in, and has a vast amount of content in quests, cooking, crafting, open world exploration, hidden treasures, and dungeon challenges. And if you play it casually, you will have a fantastic time. But be aware it is designed to eventually reach a point where if you intend to make serious progress and you don't want to play this game as a full-time job, you will be heavily encouraged to start paying. Every system
pretty
that
much.
can be time-gated or monetized has been, and all of them ultimately fall back to how many Prio Gems you can throw at it, and Prio Gems are gained through buying Genesis crystals. This is a predominantly single-player game with gacha mechanics and grind. It's a fantastic single-player game when you start, but it is still very much a single-player game with gambling mechanics and a designed grind. Remember how I've always said free games end up being the most expensive? This is a perfect example of that. If you've got great self-control and you're looking for a casual open-world adventure, Genshin Impact is a fantastic way to spend a few hours, but if you're after a serious lifelong game to really sink your teeth into, if you're looking to try and find your main game, be prepared to either treat this as a second job or to open your wallet. Basically, imagine Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild and The Witcher 3 had a steamy night of passion inside a casino while watching anime, and the bed was just a giant instruction manual for how to monetize a mobile game.
Yep,
This
pretty
would
much.
be the result. As for a rating, Breath of the Wild with anime waifus and gacha mechanics out of 10.
That's fair
Cheers
enough.
for watching. Let me know in the comments below if you
It's pretty
have
fair
an opinion
enough,
on Genshin Impact
especially with the
and
amount of
game.
effort,
Thank you to
time and
my
effort people
Patreon
do spend
supporters
on
and
this
Twitch
game.
subs who make this channel possible. You can support the Patreon from only
Nowadays, they,
£1
like,
a month.
do it
Check the
50%
video
off of
description
Twitch,
for links
50%
to
on
Patreon,
Twitch.
Twitter, and our Discord. And as always, have a great day.
Oh boy. It's more like a great evening for now. Alright, hold on a second. Let's see here. What's our... I'd say we paced ourselves pretty good today. We managed to get a bunch of grinding out of the way. Last minute grinding for sure. Servers are down. We're going to be saving our polls. And... take a look at 9 Dragons. I think I already did watch 9 Dragons. I watched some of Josh's
If you're going to
videos.
spend hundreds of hours.
Yeah, I literally like watched some of Josh's videos off stream. Like already. As I don't like watch every single YouTube video I watch like on stream. There's some I like to watch off stream because some of the things that can be said in the commentary can be a tad bit triggering. Hold on a second. I did watch this video already, right? Yeah, I already watched it. I already like watched it days ago. Like this was uploaded a week ago. I watched it like maybe 1 to 2 days after it came out. In any case, let's see here. Yeah, some Asian companies can't be able to like produce like a really quality game for life. Well, recently we got not Sword Art Online. Swords of Swords of Legends Online, or Solo for short. And that was produced by a Chinese company, and people are it's a pay to keep forever MMO. I mean, it looks pretty good. It's just that it just feels really cliched, pretty niche for because it's a Chinese fantasy game, and if a game does have an element of Chinese fantasy like Genshin Impact does, I don't mind to a specific extent, but when it's entirely themed around like every other mobile game, online game on the market, particularly from China, is like Chinese fantasy themed, then it doesn't particularly appeal to me. It really doesn't appeal to me at all. So, in any case, I mean, I could log in to do some. I could do some Honkai dailies, but I only logged on to see how much how much treasure hunting we could still do before the servers went down on a now retired zone of the game. So I ended up getting like 178 gems in total on my main account. I would if I found like maybe one more common chest, I would have gone equal 180. But given that we have more than enough polls to get the next 5-star we want, anyways, whether we win or lose to 50-50, we should be just fine. And even if I do have some polls left, there's a pretty good chance that I will lose the 50-50, and I might have to go into like the 70s the 70s polls to actually get Ayaka guaranteed. But if we can actually get her within like 30 to 60 polls, because my earliest poll probably was, I guess, still Jean, 16 polls after guaranteed child slash Tartaglia slash a whale boy. Yeah, guaranteed whale boy. Then anything's possible. Anything's possible. Also, I wanted to see if the new mic thing was if the no mic thing was a really um was an interesting test, because there was a time in Twitch's history where people would randomly watch like pro level gamers who do not use a microphone just straight up play the game as a professional speedrunner or something, and those kind of people would get a lot of attention nowadays. However, those kind of content creators just do not make the I guess the 7 to 8 second rule of attention grabbing anymore on in this day and age on Twitch. And so the other thing I really do have a gripe with is that whenever I use VMagic Mirror, it just takes some time and effort to configure the expressions, because it's not as simple as using camera tracking. The only thing you can track with my camera is the mouth movement. It may look cool, but it's just a pain in the literal butt in order to like fully integrate into the computer. So, and on top of that, in order to well, let me see if like VMagic Mirror has a proper tutorial now, because that's like the one thing I'm really struggling with, is that I watched Midnight Kitten before, but one of the main things is that the tutorials I look at, a lot of the tutorials that I look at, is they don't go into detail. They really don't go very in depth to really go into the nitty gritties of how to fully set up the software. And that's what I can say. Reminds you of Onigiri, but more grown up. That's understandable. I could see that. I could definitely see that. I wish I can like exert some effort into my voice right now, but it's so easy to get dehydrated now in this day and age. Hope everybody who stopped by is doing well and stuff right now. It's there are times where we usually like have the no mic thing going on like past midnight. Sometimes that's where I would run into some newer gamers on the channel during DJ hours because past midnight hours are pretty prime time gaming hours for people. And I mean, there's a gamer at every single hour of the day at whatever time zone that you're looking for, no matter what. Meanwhile, let me go ahead and see. I guess I could host Kaiden. Oh, I do want to raid, but the thing is, since we had some peeps in the chat, but nobody's chatting, and while I don't mind the company of Kiba and any bots and whatnot, any kind of activity is just not going to be able to allow us to get some homies over for a raid to another homie that I do want to introduce and bring a raid to. And it's just like the same analogy of the same analogy of me whatchamacallit. I'm trying to think of what I wanted to say. The same analogy of me uploading a YouTube video, telling people that they should that to help me like share and whatnot, and the sharing is not it's not happening. But then again, there's only so much that people can do, so it's all good, Kiba. It's all good. Maybe we could like watch one more YouTube video before we finish, or mm, well then again, I do need to hop on. I do want to hop on Discord pretty soon because gotta start the community hangout one way or another. Yeah, Kiba, because sometimes when I finish playing a game, I don't really end right away, so it's never really the best idea that for me to immediately like have a raid suggestion because I do tend to go overtime nowadays one way or another. I'm interested in this actually. Hmm. What if you make this into a milkshake actually? That's got to be really tasty as a milkshake. Yeah, that has to be really good as a milkshake. Joshua make Oreos at home but better? Well, today is not one of those days, so yeah, as much as I do want to raid, let's go ahead and see who the heck is available that I can host. I think I'll do a mutual host for Ultramarines 40k. He's been raiding me lately, and we kind of stream around the same time whenever I do my regular streams. So I feel like it's kind of appropriate for me to drop a host for him. Again, like I love raiding people. I love to send and introduce my any audience members I have to my other fellow homies who are really amazing, well-deserved content creators. So I think we'll do just that. I'll be on Discord. I don't know if anybody is still here and wants to hop in on the Discord server where we're gonna have a hangout pretty soon. I just need to rehydrate, grab some more water. Tomorrow we're gonna be back on Genshin Impact, doing those expected we're gonna begin with those banner polls that everybody else is gonna be doing tonight or tomorrow with me as well. So obviously, I'm not gonna have the reception as a major partner such as Lily Pichu or Asian Guy Genshin or Tectone or Mtashed or Enviosity for these polls because everybody has their own audience for gotcha polls because gotcha polls are quite a spectacle to behold in the mobile gaming community. So we'll see what happens. I gotta restart myself just like I gotta restart I gotta restart Steam and Discord. Hey, what's up, Totally Memes? You said the letter A, I raise you a letter B. We're just about to what you up to? We're just about to end pretty soon. Apparently I run into new people on Genshin Impact when I'm just done playing Genshin, and I don't see said Genshiners again. Feels weird, man, not gonna lie. What do you mean so empty? I'm just almost about done for the day. Define empty. There's a lot of definitions for empty. You say a 0, I raise you the number 1. Ichiban. I mean, if you live in a different time zone, memes, then if you live in a different time zone, then I can understand that your time zone is not going to match too well with American East Coast time. But Kiba has redeemed a channel points rewards. Let's go ahead and play a little tidbit I like to call the Sponge Depot.
Okay. Hey, Squidward! Wanna blow some bubbles?
Nope, but I mean, no SpongeBob, but apparently somebody in Miltendo's chat wanted to blow some bubbles. Meme said 0 again. I raise a number 2. If you're not in first place, you can always be in second place. Second place is not a bad place to be. Yeah, that's a channel points reward. If you got the channel points, you can be able to redeem so many different rewards on my channels, which includes redeeming a video meme, like the one that Kiba just redeemed. Oh, it looks like we're playing the number game with somebody in the chat here. All right, you say the number 0, I say I raise you a number 3. If you can't be in first or second place, you can always be in third place. Third place is not bad too. The top 3 is there for a reason. Actually, if I look up Genshin Impact on YouTube, what are my first results? Let's see. Character demo, watched that already. Soundtrack, best DPS characters, unexpected facts. Because I'm very curious as to like what the heck YouTube is gonna slap in front of me on the front page. Because of its what's that fancy word? Algorithm. What's so funny about Ayaka? Your sense of humor is I would say very special. Totally memes. What's so funny about a waifu that people want to pull for? I would also like to know how the heck you found my channel, by the way. Because I am one of probably hundreds or thousands of people playing who do play Genshin Impact. You're 13 away from Ayaka Pity? From the guarantee pity. Well, at least she's guaranteed for you. I have 2 accounts, and one of my accounts is guaranteed Ayaka, so I'm going to be pulling tomorrow because I'm going to be hanging out on Discord with my homies pretty soon because tonight is a community night. And thank you for the follow, too. Very appreciated. Always appreciated. So yeah, tomorrow we're going to be starting up Inazuma. We're going to be doing our polls because I have my polls ready. I won some kind of... Apparently I won some kind of Primo Gem raffle and I got awarded major polls for my main account. And... Oh yeah, Kiba, we don't just welcome our new Kiminokos just the standard way. This is how we give a proper welcome to our fresh new Kinoko to the Cool Kids crew.
Welcome.
With Jimmy Fallon, and don't ask me where I got that sound effect. It's just what it is. It's a sound effect. I'm still surprised with let's look at MTash real quick. I'm still surprised that like he still uploads stuff for Genshin even though I don't know, he goes back and forth between so many different he goes back and forth between like pushing himself back into Destiny 2, but he still like gravitates back to Genshin Impact as a free to play. This guy is like going through a whole entire anime arc. Dubstep gun for the win, yes. He tried a new gacha game. I wonder what this one is.
Hey everyone, MTash here, and this video is sponsored by Summoner's War Lost.
Oh, okay. It's not Summoner's War. I was like, wait, he's playing Summoner's War?
Different passive effects, battles.
Wait, no, is he actually playing Summoner's War?
And he countered me, so it adds. You can do these siege battles.
Okay, yeah, he's playing Summoner's War. Let's see here. Yep, a lot of his videos are definitely Genshin Impact, even though so many times he said, I'm quitting Genshin Impact. And then the other content creators that are obviously up there on the rise are... What the heck is Tectone playing? I got a freaking... Wait. Majestic? Does Majestic have something on MiHoYo? No matter... I think... Here's the thing that I actually really... Even Akron is on this? What the heck is... See, this is why I have trouble watching Genshin Impact content creators, because if it's not... Here's the thing. If it's not players looking for them to fight... Something will happen between the content creators that they will disagree on. Like one of them does something sus and then they get called out for doing something sus. And it just instills a level of hostility that's just unnecessary, honestly. The Legend of Waifu Breath of the Gacha. Yeah, facts, dude. Facts. I mean, the other gacha game that I also do play Honkai if that matters anything. Actually, speaking of Honkai Impact, let's see if they uploaded anything new on the channel. Anything regarding the collab between Genshin? No, it doesn't seem like it because 1 week ago they uploaded the video with Fischl. I have Fischl in Honkai and she's pretty nutty and fun. I just watch Critique Status. You know the one channel I actually do enjoy watching with a very unbiased perspective and just straight up facts? Gacha Gamer. Now, I know Gacha Gamer as a channel, I really thought they would actually have more than one, like, oh, they got Summoner's War too. Like, more than one type of gacha game. The other gacha game that they made a video for is probably, they've been mostly uploading Genshin Impact. They've uploaded this one, Lord of Heroes, before. And I guess prior to Genshin... Oh. Interesting. Prior to Genshin Impact, they have uploaded other videos before. But they're really top quality and straight to the point. Very informational. And if they missed out on any facts, they're open to admitting their mistake. And are pretty open-minded about discussing character and team builds. I like these guys. So this is my top channel that I like to watch of all time for any news and information coming for Genshin Impact. What's the time right now? Yeah, there's simple thumbnails, but sometimes, like, you don't really have to put... When it comes to building a YouTube channel, you don't have to, like, go over the top with, making the thumbnails. As long as you maintain a level of consistency, it's just fine. It's just straight to the point. And that helps with the branding, too, especially with, like, content creation branding and whatnot. I happen to have, like, a table talk sometimes with with people who are looking to get into the YouTube scene and whatnot, and the big C word, consistency, also is a part of the branding of your videos. I try my best to make thumbnails. Like, I have a set formula. I have a set file on Photoshop, which I make my thumbnails for whenever I make videos. But sometimes they tend to be low effort volume as well. Now I have, like, one YouTube channel that has, like 100 times, wait, 100 times? No, 10 times more subscribers than the one that supposedly represents my gaming brand. Uploading content to the internet is just really all over the place, my dudes, and it's just... You know something, like one Genshin Impact video that I've actually pretty proud of making, that it's really totally meme-worthy material? So, between two accounts that I have on Genshin, there was a time and place where I never owned D-Luke. And during that time and place, I decided to make this meme. Oh, yeah. But that was some time ago, before one of my accounts finally got D-Luke. And I was not even asking for D-Luke. I was asking for child on my second account. But the game apparently doesn't want me to get child on my second account. I lost the 50-50 on both child banners. And yes, whenever you do the lull here, it triggers Peter Griffin. Peter Griffin chimes into, what the frick is this? I need to watch this video before we finish. This has piqued my interest, not gonna lie.
这作业也太难了吧！算了，随便选好了，3长1短选最短，3短1长选最长，都差不多，就选 C。好耶，写完了。狂风于此汇聚，昭告雷鸣之刻；混沌于此显现，奏响破灭之音。
Official?
这啥玩意儿？ 染血的恶之十字，堕落的血之骑士 ，Black Shield Rider， 哼，召唤成功了，地方好痛。
Ow. This is really well animated. This is the impact before Genshin.
我出门啦，阿大要好好看家哦。姐姐路上小心。呀呼！
This is like an anime episode. This is cute.
少废话了，水饼小弟啊，快进来，快进来，让我们继续上次的战斗吧。这就是传说中 Black Shield Rider 的巢穴，惩罚之血殿吗？行了行了，别乱看了，赶紧过来。所以准备好来玩点刺激的吗？
This is a meme. They did the meme. They did the meme. They did the meme. They did the thumbnail. This is a. Can I just get this version on Genshin though? Like, but who would be at the? Who would be on the oven and who would be playing the instrument? Wait, isn't there a version of this as a GIF for Genshin? Yo, I can't believe they did the meme in 2021. That's amazing. Let me see. I didn't know 50/50 existed to my well-calculated pity on editing Kuching. Yeah, Kuching shows up in a lot of like 50/50 losses, unfortunately, which makes her one of the most hated characters. I don't mind getting her though. She's actually like, I main her on my main account. The meme. I love this. Oh?
什么东西？就让吴贝来为你传送黑蕾蕾的祝福吧。这个声音是……那么接下来就由爱酱来为大家介绍一下崩坏三中
爱酱。Oh my god, I love how she just totally broke the fourth wall and just kicked essentially Honkai's Paimon in the face. That's amazing. I would love to get a fourth wall breaking moment in Genshin, honestly. I gotta watch this again. This frame! Look at this frame! This frame is amazing. Oh my god. That's some noteworthy animation, dude. This is for the same company that makes Genshin Impacts, but we don't have much Genshin Impact animations. Sheesh, they're all over the place with this. Yeah, at some point in time, Kiba. Definitely at some point in time. I think there's like, let's just play one more animation to make it line up properly with the 5-hour mark. There's like another animation from Honkai that's actually really, really, like, so freaking wholesome. What was it? What is it? Cooking with the Valkyrie? Oh yeah, I think it's this one. This one's I saw the Chinese dubbed one. I wonder how it sounds in Japanese actually. I'm gonna be listening to a lot of Japanese since I turned on the Japanese dub for Genshin to hype up Inazuma pretty soon. So let's see what happens. Let's see how this sounds in Japanese. Because I only heard the Chinese dub of this. Even Valkyries who fight for the world show their stuff. Oh. Ow, my ears. Rest in peace, my ears. I am so gonna go deaf. Let me remind you guys that my headphone's at the lowest volume and that pretty much murdered my ears by 80% HP. Yeah, I'll actually, no, let's increase that to 85%. That was like the critical factor of the volume level of this video damaged my hearing by a good 85% by one increment. Alright, let's watch this cute cooking video with the Valkyries.
ピピピピピザピザサマービーチバーベキューチチチチチキンチキンチキンウィングス Oh my love ピピピピピザピザサマービーチバーベキューチチチチチキンチキン
This is animated really well though.
ラーメンステーキピザとおにぎりいつもどこでもソーダとチキンウィングス
肉グリルソテーボイルフライ炒め物
すぐに今すぐ全部ちょうだいテストは終わり
ペコペコ腹ペコ
帰ろ帰ろさあ帰ろもうすぐピザピピピピピザピザサマービーチバーベキューチチチチチキンチキンチキンウィングス Oh my love
I just love how I just hate and love how this is animated so freaking well for a mobile game.
キアナ起きなさいほらほら早く起きないとお前の分のピザトーストも食べちゃうぞ
クソパパ今起きるから私のは食べちゃダメ
I make pizza toast actually. It's pretty easy to make, like
夢か
pizza bagel.
あんな娘ほっぽり出してどっか行っちゃうようなクソパパのことなんて知らない
I believe they also made an different company, but animations for Maple Story. They're done pretty well too.
どうしたの朝からそんなに慌ててちょっと買い出しすぐ戻るからキアナちゃん私これから訓練があるの作ったカレーを冷蔵庫に入れておくから
That's Raiden Mei, aka Raiden Shogun.
キアナちゃん待って
Kiana's the unknown god.
ガウガウ履いてるピザトースト食べたくなっちゃったクソパパのせいで自分で
She turned chibi. That's adorable. Kawaii.
でも玉ねぎは切らないといけないのよねなんで玉ねぎって目にしみるのよ
キアナ君にかすらなきゃ秘伝の調理技を授けよう
えパパのちっとも聞きたくない
パパのようにしっかり目をつぶって切れば玉ねぎが目にしみることはないぞすごいだろう
知ってた
Yeah, that did suck.
あの頃玉ねぎを切るのはとても大変だったけどクソパパ自分ができないならそう言えばいいよ
You just make the onions cold. If you make the onions cold, it won't burn your eyes so much.
ベーコンなかったっけもう食べちゃったのかな姫子また朝まで飲んでたの私を止めないでくれ私はまだ飲める暴れないでとりあえずソファーに
This is well animated. Oh, there's the bacon.
ベーコンここにあったんだあとはチーズをクソパパもいないことだしいくら乗せてもいいでしょう
そんなにたくさんチーズを乗せたら次の分がなくなるぞ
あの頃はチーズもなかなか手に入らなかったもんね
I could definitely make this. Maybe I could probably do this for a simple cooking stream one time. Like every other occasion where I'm just hungry, I just make this either in the air fryer or the toaster oven.
ここが正念場だあパパ火加減を間違えたみたいでもピザトーストは焦げた方が美味しいから
No, it's piping hot.
ベーコンが口の中に弾けるさらに玉ねぎの香りがチーズに溶け込んで最高何いい香り私も食べる姫子は先にヨーグルトでも飲んで酔いを覚ましたらあ
ら、キアノ火加減は大事よ耳が焦げちゃってるじゃない
でもピザトーストは焦げた方が美味しいの
Oh, that's adorable. Pizza toast Bennett style? You're right. You're right. That was so freaking adorable. I love that. Plus, it's a recipe that's really close to home. Not completely close to home, but I loved it. This was episode 1, but did they actually Japanese dub it? I don't know if they actually Japanese dubbed it. Oh, they did Japanese dub it. Okay, yeah. This will be the last video we'll be playing.
Pizza, pizza, summer beach barbecue. Chicken wings, oh my love.
Okay, I watched the Chinese dub for this one. Let's see how it sounds in Japanese. This is a pretty neat series to watch, honestly. Oh yeah, that's a pretty good kende kiba, as well as I would think challah bread is pretty good too. Brioche, it's also pretty good. Hey, it's Bronya. Aww.
ちょっとキャンマー電話に出なきゃ。でも勝負はこれからなんだからね。ブローニャの121勝目。
Yeah, no problem, totally memes. Thank you for stopping on by. I totally appreciate it, my dude. Dudette. You're amazing for being here, and thank you for reminding me that memes make us all smile.
わかった。気をつけて。メイ先輩たち帰りが遅くなるって。帰ってくるまではパンでしのぐしかなさそう。ブローニャが作ります。
I forgot Bronya is a cyborg.
何にしようかな。
You know what's actually pretty scary, but actually amazing, that the fact that she's a cyborg? The knife cuts. Like, if you get a robot to cook for you, you're going to notice that the knife cuts are very precise with zero hesitation. Because if you're not a professional chef, when you're doing your knife cuts, any level of hesitation is going to cause some unevenness to the way you're cutting. But because she's part robot, these are very symmetrical cuts she's doing. But that might be pretty good. Some level of uniformity actually can really help with the cooking process. Anyways, that's just my inner food geek nerd speaking out.
缶詰。なんでベッドの下にこんなにあるわけ？非常食。じゃあこれは軍人の矜持。
Interesting.
ブローニャは今から30分待機します。
I like her Chinese voice a little bit more. I find her Chinese voice to be pretty adorable.
ブローニャお姉ちゃん、ご飯の時間だよ。
Huh, interesting. That's a pretty neat color, actually.
キアナ、パンにつけて食べてみてください。この味、本当に美味しくないパンと同じものなの？美味しいね、ブロニャお姉ちゃん。
やっと帰ってこれた。お腹空いたでしょ。今からご飯作るわ。
その必要はないわ、メイ先輩。ブローニャがボルシチ作ったから。姫子も食べてみて。その後に肩揉んであげる。ブローニャちゃん、何一人で笑ってるのよ。バカキアナに言ってもわからないと思います。あんた
I love this animation. It's so flippin' wholesome and adorable. They even list the exact recipe, dude. That's amazing. I think honestly, like, if you wanted to take like another route to watch something a bit more wholesome and amazing. Oh, I'm hearing myself on loop because I was playing a video. I have a video player on. If you want to watch another anime that's just pretty also delicious and not exactly as intense as Shokugeki no Soma Food Wars, because that anime is quite its own playing field, then this is a really cute series to watch upon. This is a very, very, very adorable, cute series to watch upon. Anyways, I should actually take a breather for a second before hopping on Discord. So I think I am gonna go ahead and raid. Gonna go ahead and raid right now. Go ahead and raid my fellow New Yorker homie on Twitch. Let's go ahead and raid Ultramarines 40k. What shall our raid message be? Can we do a raid message today? I feel like we could do a raid message today. Weird, I thought I got some raiders. Maybe I just have a host. It doesn't seem like we're gonna get like I literally thought we have a raid here. Do we not have a raid? Maybe it's not registering with Twitch or something. I don't know. Okay, never mind. There it is. Let's actually say delicious treasure raid. Or no, tasty treasure. Tasty treasure raid. That will be the raid message. So I'm gonna hop on Discord, Kiba. But before I hop on Discord, I'm gonna take a breather first, and then we'll see what we'll do tonight. And then tomorrow we're just gonna get ready for the major banner polling we're gonna be doing. Because in typical gacha game style, if our favorite character comes out, we must do the obligatory banner polls for it, regardless of how much currency we have. And for anybody else who is not going to be on the Discord server for the community hangout for the 1.7k followers milestone, we'll catch y'all on the next adventure in Genshin Impact or Stream Raiders, or wherever we see ya. And stay hungry, not just for something new to learn every day, but also for yourself. For a well-fed gamer probably makes the greatest Valkyrie, and the greatest chef can also make the best pizza toast, and the best pizza toast can help the world make a better place, maybe.